Well, this is a synopsis of my Big Bend National Park trip, so you kind of know what's going on. On day one, I drove to Biloxi and spent the night in a hotel in a La Quinta Hotel Inn. On day number two, I drove to Sequin just before San Antonio, Texas, and spent the night in a La Quinta Hotel. On day number three, I arrived at Big Bend National Park around noon and got all reservations. I camped that night in my tent at Pine Canyon Site number 2. I day hiked the Pine Canyon Trail. On day number 4, I left my campsite at Pine Mountains Site number 2 and drove around to the Lost Mine Trail. I day hiked the Lost Mine Trail. On day number 5, I broke camp and drove around to the Blue Creek trailhead. I backed up to the Blue Creek Trail and zone camped along the trail. I backpacked up the Blue Creek Trail and zone camped along the trail near the mountain. Day number 6, I broke camp and hiked back to the car. I drove to the other side of the park and camped at Octillo Grove. On day number 7, I left my campsite set up and day hiked the Chimneys Trail. I spent the night at Octillo Grove. On day number 8, I broke camp and drove to Elena Canyon Trail and hiked the trail. Then I drove to my campsite at Twisted Shoe. This turned out to be a really bad idea. My cart was not appropriate for the drive. I had planned on backpacking the Juniper Canyon Trail, but I was in such a remote area of the park, I chickened out. I figured if I got hurt, nobody'd find me for days. Day number 9, I bailed and drove back to Panther Junction and canceled the rest of my night since I had seen pretty well everything that I intended to see in the park and drove to Van Horn, Texas. Van Horn, Texas was a very nice town. I spent the night in a hotel with a bed, shower, and pillows, which was very nice. On day number 10, I drove to Guadalupe Mountain National Park. I hiked the McKinton Canyon Trail. Wind was gusting up to 50 miles an hour, and the ranger did not recommend the mountain trail. I really enjoyed this trail. It was along a stream, the only one that I saw the entire trip. This is where El Capitan is located, the Capitol Reef, where travelers to California could get water as well as stagecoach bringing mail. The only way to get to California was to sail around the Horn. I drove to White City and spent the night. I want to say something about this reef. I thought it was a coral reef, but it was not a coral reef. It finally figured out that it was where algae had built up on the edge of the ocean over millions of years and made this humongous reef. The ocean receded for whatever reason and left a salt lake, and this salt lake eventually evaporated and left what I've been hiking on and seeing the whole time is this big desert. The mountains were formed, and when they pushed up this reef made out of these dead algae. And now some of the pictures you'll see in my hiking video, I'll be all confused, but I finally got it straight. On day number 11, where I took some videos of White City, which is just a make-believe western town that somebody built to try to draw in tourists. There was hardly anything there. There was a couple of small hotels and a little water park and a grocery store and a few other things, and I'll probably post the video of the town. Very limited. It was right at the mouth of the Carlsbad Canyon. And when I was there, I hiked down Carlsbad Canyon. I probably hiked 3 or 4 miles in the canyon. It's pretty cool. One of those gems I didn't know I was going to get to have. I had no idea it was even there, and I really enjoyed it. Had a great time. Day number 12, I drove to Shreveport, Louisiana, and stayed at La Quinta. Day number 13, I drove to Auburn, Alabama, and stayed in a True Hotel. Day number 14, I drove to Dublin and spent the night with my sister. And day number 15, I drove home. Well, that's about all of it. I saw a lot of areas where they had, in the Big Bend National Park, they had a lot of dinosaur bones and things that had been discovered there. after, I guess, the sea evaporated, dinosaurs moved into the area. They were huge crocodiles, but when the sea was there, they had a lot of fossils of huge sharks that's way bigger than the sharks we'd have today. They would eat a great white in a heartbeat. But anyway, I saw all of that and had a great time. So if you're going to be watching the video, they'll be coming up next. This is the Rio Grande overlook. It's probably too windy to hear, but I'll talk a little while. If it's still too windy, I'll let you at least get a panoramic view of the overlook. Quite impressive. Very impressive. Well, good morning, everybody. I guess this is day number 4. I'll probably lose count after a while, but I'm here at my campsite. Had a good hike yesterday. Very beautiful around here. Sun came up about 7:30. It don't come up very early. This is my campsite. There's bear boxes. I don't need them because I got a car. I don't know why they put the bear boxes out here, but a lot of people do that even though you got a car. I just keep everything in the car. I parked my car right beside my tent to try to block some of that wind last night. I never dreamed that we were going to have so much wind last night, and it's flapping that tent like crazy. It's hard to sleep, but I finally got to sleep. Put the car there and kind of blocked the wind. This is what the road looks like. Kind of looks just like this. What the campsite is, full of rocks everywhere. Everywhere you go, rocks, 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 and dust. This is the road I came in on. It takes you a little while to get down it, but I didn't have any trouble. There's the prairie, I guess. There's a few birds out and about. No stars last night. Had some moonlight, but it's behind those clouds. I guess they're clouds. They're not rain clouds. I don't know what they are, but it's some sort of cloud. If the sun's come up, I ain't seen it yet. I don't know where it's at, but it's daylight and it's 7:30. I think it would come up in that direction over that mountain there, but I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm going to be hiking again today, and I'll make some more videos. Well, this is a Lost Mine Trail. There are a lot of people here hiking. This is kind of the view of the area. The fog had come in when I was coming up here. I couldn't see nothing for the fog. But anyway, I'm headed up the trail. I'm sure this don't go very far before it turns into a real hike. But anyway, if I see anything interested, I'll come back. Well, this is interesting. I'm headed up into that mountain, I guess. It's a 4.2 mile hike, but it's really steep going up. Because I guess we're going up to the top of that mountain, if you can see it. I'm trying to get it before the fog sets in. I guess these trees ain't dead, they just turn into fall. Some kind of oaks. A lot of people parked here, so I guess there are a lot of people headed up that way. I'm sure this is going to be a tough hike, especially the last half a mile. It's about 52 degrees. It's kind of chilly. I'm hiking with my just one layer of shirt, but I'm sure I'm gonna warm up pretty dang quick. It's where I was camping this morning when I got up, it was 61, and now it's down to 51, almost 10 degrees different. I don't know if I'm at a higher elevation or if the temperature's dropping. I kind of think the temperature's dropping. Well, that's a pretty view. I'm sure I'm going to have prettier views of this, but what I'm afraid is I'm going to get fogged in and I won't have any views later up the trail. But it's looking good. There's a canyon, very pretty. A lot of trees up here that's doing good. Got some cactus too. They're doing some trail maintenance today on the trail, which is good. Looks like they're fixing to bury that log too. But it's mighty pretty. Well, this is quite a nice view as I climb on up the mountain. I'm sure I got a long way to go. I'm just getting started. But it don't hurt to take a little break. Beautiful up here. The sun is up, but it ain't out for sure. We're fogged in. I hope it don't settle down on me so I can't take pictures of anything. You probably can't hear me for the wind, but this is a beautiful view, but the wind is screaming up here. 50 degrees. There's the summit. I got to at least tag it, say I got there. I'm not sure if I'm going all the way to the top of that rock where that fellow's standing. Probably not. But I come up from down there on the bottom. Take me a while to get here, but it's very pretty. I don't know how far I'm going or not. I'm going to have to take it and see how steep it is when I get up there. Well, this is my camp view from my campsite today. This is Saturday. I thought it was Friday, but Joanne told me it was Saturday. This is my campsite. I hadn't set up my tent yet. I'm gonna rest a little while. I cooked me a hamburger and some baked beans. And ate a few chips. Nice view, but I'm definitely in the desert. I decided I'd eat me some breakfast along here at the Santa Elena Canyon. That's the canyon down there further. There's some people here I met that's actually kayaking down the river. It says a class 3 rapid. I don't know if I want any part of that, but they seem to be, they all young people. Here's my setup for breakfast. I'm gonna eat me some breakfast. And you can't find a better spot to eat. I'm having me some egg and cheese sandwich and some hot chocolate for breakfast. With a great view. Sun's coming up. It's still a little cool, but not bad. Mighty good. This is the Santa Elena Canyon Trail. This is just the start of it, but it's not what we want to do. It's just the beginning.